Hello, everybody, and welcome to Literarily Wasted. You might have noticed that I have a pretty cool new webcam that we're trying out. It's very hip and vintage, and it's made by a little manufacturer you might know as Nintendo. It's the Game Boy camera.
I want to make fun of him so hard, but I can't because Lucas and I gave him that Game Boy camera.
They did. They gave me this Game Boy camera, and it's the future. There's little Benny. It's the future of all video entertainment coming out of me. Don't cry, Benny. It looks good.
Your video quality is making him cry.
It looks good. Okay. So, anyway, we got a song coming up, don't we?
We do. Oh, Benny's not gonna like it. It's gonna make him cry harder.
He's not.
Here we go.
Okay, look at this. Look how cool this is. Yeah.
Hi, Tammy and Krista and Randa and Ashley and Kelly and Tim Stacy. Hi, Henry and Cindy and Jennifer, Kelly and Nicole and Willa and Missy. Hi, Brandy and Lucas. Ha and Giggles and Kent and Kelly and Brandy Kira. Hi, Rachel and Judy and Willa and Randa and Krista and Lee and Martin, Christopher, Lucas again, Henry, Brandy, Natalie, Randa, and Leanne. Also, I'd like to point out for a minute that he got quieter, so maybe he's fine with my singing.
That was a very subdued
he
song.
He actually likes voices, so you don't have to be quiet.
Good, I'm not good at being quiet.
Yeah.
So baby Benny's here. We tried to put him in his pack and play for sleep, but he said, I don't think so.
It didn't work out.
I don't want to miss Literarily Wasted, is what he said. And so here he is. And
also, Brandy saying Lucas and Talia taking turns. Yes, that is correct. Because once again, Lucas I think he's actually in an airport right now.
Yeah,
flying back home from a work trip tonight. Like after the stream tonight, I'll have to go pick him up from the airport.
We've got a message from Lucas. Even though he's not here with us, he's here
I haven't watched
in the comments, and he's here in video. So let's listen to Lucas.
I think he just boarded.
Hello, Lit Fam. Again, a greetings message from me, and my heartfelt apologies that I'm not with you tonight. But as you can see, I am in an airport. So welcome to Philadelphia. It is so beautiful. I will be in the air on my way home back to Birmingham during the live stream. But I wanted to hop in and say hello. I have a confession. I did not read all of Cat's Cradle. What I will say about Cat's Cradle that I liked is that the chapters are very short. So I do want to get back to it. This would be my first Kurt Vonnegut, so and I love cats. So I hope it's about this beautiful menagerie of cats and how they're playful and cute and cuddly. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I have been reading, and I have to tell you, I'm reading Dust by Hugh Howey, third book in the Silo trilogy. So we'll shift Dust. I'm reading Dust. I'm about a third of the way through, and it's really good. So if you haven't read that, read it. But I got called up here for work, and kind of last minute, and I was going to read Cat's Cradle to be in the discussion, and when I found out that I wasn't going to be part of the discussion, I said, I'm going to keep reading Dust. So that is my confession to you on this lovely Wednesday. But I hope your July has been good, and I will hopefully be more involved in August. But had a couple crazy weeks of travel here. So peace, love, reading, all the good things. And yeah, I'll see you all soon, and I'll see you online. All right.
Okay, so no one tell him about the book.
It's definitely Lucas. There's just nothing but cats.
There's so many cats,
and they're so in their cradles,
and
they're
adorable.
They're just like a bunch of cats in little cradles. It's such a sweet and cute.
There is a cat,
I know there's a dog,
and there was a cat.
It's such a sweet, cute book, Lucas.
No memory of a cat.
The crazy guy who rented his apartment.
Yeah.
Well, if he read some of it, he might have read that part because that was kind of early.
So, as he said, we're here to talk about Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. Billed as a novella, but it's like a 300 page one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Goodreads says it's like 170 pages. Goodreads lied.
Safe travels, Lucas, says Kent. So Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. This is my second Kurt Vonnegut book after Slaughterhouse-Five, but I read Slaughterhouse-Five so long ago that I don't even remember much about it. So this is kind of my first Kurt Vonnegut book as a reader, because before I was like, I'll read it, but I didn't know how to read back then. He's a famous guy, famous author, famous guy. You got to see what it's about. I guess I'll just go ahead and start with my thoughts.
Yeah, start.
What? Okay, so I'm just going to say that initially I hated this book. I was like, I hate this.
He started reading it to me and Benny like we did the last book, and he read the first chapter twice and the third chapter twice, and then we just stopped.
Yeah, I was like getting through, and each chapter is like a page and a half, and so like I'm reading this and I'm like, I hate this. What is this? What is this book? I don't even know what we're doing here. But then as I got farther along in the book, it picked up somewhere along the way, and I ended up not hating it. I'm not going to go so far to say that I loved this book. There are things that I definitely appreciate about the book. I appreciate Kurt Vonnegut's writing style. I appreciate his, the satire messaging. It does feel a little bit like, you really get the humor if you like reading the New Yorker. Is that kind of like humor for me, like New Yorker in the 1960s, or like I like Mad Magazine, like that kind of stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I like Mad Magazine, but with Mad Magazine, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, with this one, it's like one of those, like a political cartoon from the 60s in the New Yorker that you kind of look at and you're like, maybe I get that, but I appreciate a lot of things about it, some of the messaging, and then it got bonkers, and then I'm done for now. So I okay this book.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is also my second Kurt Vonnegut.
I cannot. Sorry, I just realized I was looking at. I'm in their living room again. I'll look at the camera. Sorry, go ahead, Christy.
So I had read Slaughterhouse-Five as a reader and did not appreciate it. But I like this one way more. I would also not say that I loved it, but I did like it. I ended up giving it 3 stars on Goodreads, which is a solid, just like. Short chapters were fun. I think everybody can appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed really kind of chaotic and random, the book did to me. And I didn't really get the humor. I'm not sure Kurt Vonnegut is for me. But I'm glad we read this. I'm glad that we read Kurt Vonnegut in the book club. I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, this is the place where we're going to kind of rely on some of y'all to help fill in the holes.
Yeah. I will say I was expecting the apocalyptic part to be a much larger part of the story. But I did enjoy that part because it escalated so fast, and it was kind of really interesting to read because it was a different take, I thought.
Actually, this was funny.
Yeah, it's supposed to be funny, and this wasn't, to me, it wasn't funny.
Is it supposed to be funny, or is it just supposed to be satirical? There's a difference between satire and then kind of just straight comedy.
Well, the back of the book is it's satirical, but I feel like everywhere else I read humorous, like on Goodreads and Amazon, it said humorous.
Yeah, the writer's strike question was timely, and the fact that Oppenheimer just came out is pretty timely as well. Haven't seen it yet.
God, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Stacy, go Monsters. I did not read Slaughterhouse-Five in school. I'd never read it, so this was my first foray into Vonnegut. So for that reason, I am glad I read it because I feel like it is something like every once in a while you have to read Vonnegut at some point in your life. So I am glad that I have read it. That being said, this is not the time I would have chosen to read this book if I knew anything at all about it. So I did not recall anything that was said about it when we did the poll, and I did not read the back of the book. So I went into this 100% blind. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Feel like I would have liked it a little more if I'd known what it was and then specifically chose a time to read it.
That's the face I made a lot right there.
For me, I kind of just felt like I was just waiting a lot. And then I remember I literally, like, my kid came into the room at one point and was like, "You're making a face." And I was like, it's my, I feel like the plot's finally starting to like get rolling and I'm on page 110 face. Which I think is like when they were on the plane or something, and you realize the siblings are on the plane and like stuff's really finally starting to happen. And I was like, okay, good. Yes, love the short chapters. Also, I think Martin pointed it out. It's true. There are crabs in this book. So we're continuing our theme.
Yes.
It was the catering at the party in the end. It says there were lavender land crabs taken from their shells, minced, fried in coconut oil, and then returned to their shells.
You want to try it?
So I don't know what a lavender land crab is. I will say I had to Google quite a few things in this book, and it was hard for me in the beginning I had to keep remembering. I was like, because I know it's a FOMA-filled book. And I was like, which parts are FOMA and which ones aren't? Because I don't really know. There's a lot of things that I don't know, and I didn't know how much of it was FOMA.
Doesn't it say in the beginning that none of this book is true?
Nothing in this book is true.
I mean, but like, I'm talking about like certain historical events and things like that. Since I am so ignorant of a lot of everything. So yeah, I'm glad that I read it because I feel like you should. That's just like a reading checklist, right? And you'd be like, I've read a Vonnegut work.
It's probably on those scratch off posters people have on the walls.
And if I had to choose, would have rather read this than Slaughterhouse-Five.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But if everyone who's smarter than me managed to glean any speck of light or hope in this message that I missed, please tell me. Because I found none of it.
I don't believe this message is intended to be hopeful.
I know. Like, I get that. We're all stupid and we're gonna, like, the world is ending and we're the worst. Like, I picked up on that really clearly on the everything is garbage message. But if there's a secret little undercurrent or one happy little thing that could be taken away from this book, I would love it if someone would tell me what that is.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's as far as I got. Also, I did bring a string because I will say I did Cat's Cradle like a ton when I was a little kid. But the most fun part is like the 2-person game. I don't know, I forgot how to do Cat's Whiskers. But neither of them know how to do the 2-person version, so I don't have
really
anyone
bad
to
with
play
string
with me right now.
But yeah, I mean,
oh, Leanne, we see that comment.
Yeah, we do.
That your comments aren't coming up.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. That's probably a Facebook thing.
Julie, who is so much smarter than me, said no, it's not helpful. Like
it's not
anything,
helpful.
Just like a kernel, a nugget.
This is like, I mean, this is around the same time as like, this to me is like a work of satire, like Dr. Strangelove is a work of, although Dr. Strangelove has, to me, a little bit more like overt humor in it. There he is. And but it's like it's the same sort of deal where we're just kind of poking fun at like how stupid people are and how like it just people are dumb. But
Uh-oh.
I will say, guys, we're still getting comments from Facebook. I don't know if we're seeing all of them, but we're seeing all of your complaints about the comments on Facebook. So
Oh.
if keep commenting,
Yeah.
even if you don't see them.
We'll just put all of them up on the screen.
It's crickets.
Does that work?
No. I don't know. Facebook. What are you doing? We're also over there on YouTube. If ever
I like that Brandy said Facebook has been Bobo lately for me. I think I love the term Bobo.
Yeah, if you want to, I feel like YouTube comments are working. So
Oh yeah.
feel free to hop over there if you want.
And keep your Facebook window open and then open your YouTube portal.
So Cat's Cradle, we have a person that is named once in the whole story.
On the first page.
The very first page.
And we never get his last name, even though it's on the the angel sculpture, which we never get any more information. That goes nowhere.
Yeah, that was a dead end.
I kind of wanted that to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And his name is Jonah or John. You can say call me Jonah.
His name is John.
But
he prefers to be called Jonah.
He prefers to be called Jonah. And this is basically a man who starts out writing a book called The Day the World Ended.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But ironically enough,
which is what he did,
doesn't get anywhere with that after, of course, some correspondences with the Vonneguts. And then he's just randomly assigned this magazine article on the Castle guy, Julian Castle. So he flies out to San Lorenzo, and then everyone just happens to be there.
Like everybody, yeah.
Like everybody, the Vonneguts are there. The ambassador and his wife, and the bicycle guy, and
I love the little grunt.
And then they find Frank, and he makes Jonah. He's like, you be president. Also, there's this girl, Mona,
a child, but yes,
and
gross, but.
And so he's like, okay, I'll do it because of her, and everybody on the island is a Bokanonist.
Yeah.
Even though they outlaw Bokanon religion. And then
part of his cuirass.
Finally they have this ceremony, and the fighter jet malfunctions and crashes into the thing, and the dead guy falls into the ocean with the ice nine, and everything.
A whoomp, I think was the term. Something like that. Everything a whoomped.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's not random. They're all part of his cuirass. Yeah. Yeah. All this Bokanonist terminology, and
Wikipedia had a great list, by the way.
I did mean to do that. After I finished reading the book, I was like, ooh, I should actually go read a synopsis where they really spell it out for me, because I love doing that sometimes after reading a book to like see what I missed or have things spelled out, and I forgot to do it.
Look, everybody's on YouTube now.
I feel like someone put a summary on Discord, like a video.
Oh, I need to do that. I'm so bad at Discord.
So there's this made up religion, which I guess is commentary on religion in general.
Mm-hmm.
That
Martin, she was 18. If we're talking about Mona, she was 18, and that is a child.
Yeah, good call, Henry.
Yeah, that's how he wrote the book.
That would explain some things, actually.
But yeah, we have this commentary on religion, this Bokanonist
did it. Sorry.
But I did find it fascinating. Like I found like their approach to thinking about things fascinating. I don't know enough about like the cultural impact of this book on like real life, but I don't know. It was interesting. I did find it at the beginning to be a little bit disjointed. I don't know. Like I don't know. I didn't know what I was expecting.
Wasn't there was like one chapter like early on where it's like he's like, here it is. Oh god, I flipped right to it. Chapter 9, which is on page 20. Starts, I loafed on my book about the day of the bomb. About a year later, 2 days before Christmas, another story. It's just like this one little sentence that's like, and then I like didn't do anything for a year. And then I started to do this. So it is, yeah. I think disjointed is an adequate term.
It was just, yeah, it was disjointed, and it started hard with Bokononism, like just throws you into this whole thing, which again I did find fascinating, and I loved the concept of the what was it, the golly whatever, golly, Benny, help me out.
Grand Falloon?
Grand Falloon, that one. I love the concept of the Grand Falloon.
Was that the one with the description of the balloon? Because that did make me laugh.
I don't remember the balloon description, but I remember it being like, this is a fake group of people that means nothing, like going to Cornell or being a Hoosier. Bye, Benny. Go calm down. We'll see you soon.
He didn't like the book either. That's all it is, and that's fine.
Well, he didn't read the whole
Opinion
thing.
Is valid.
So the Grand Falloon, like, and then he goes to talk about, like, because there was that one lady who was like, "Oh yeah, you're a Hoosier. We're all Hoosiers. Call me Mom." And then he was like, "This is the concept of a Grand Falloon. It means nothing. Like every nation ever is a Grand Falloon." I was like, what a fascinating.
Oh God, I have to find. There was this one description of a person. I know this is like the best YouTube engagement we've ever had on a video. I love everyone coming over here.
Oh, I don't know if you know this, but Christy has a cheat sheet.
She takes notes for every single discussion because, of course, she does. It's Christy. That's just a big white there it is. Okay. It's a big white rectangle. I needed to finish that word because it sounded like I said rectum. Sorry.
It's a big white rectum.
I haven't been in a book discussion in a while, and I've forgotten how to conduct myself accordingly.
But actually,
my bad.
To be clear, yeah, she's also amazing.
Yeah, no, she is. Oh God, there's this. It's gonna drive me crazy. There's this great description of a person who, as Bokanon invites us to sing along with him, it is Grand Falloon.
Grand Falloon.
If you wish to study a Grand Falloon, just remove the skin of a toy balloon. Because it's just air.
Just air.
And I thought that was clever. Honestly, all the writings from the books of Bokanon were probably the most entertaining to me of this whole novel, was because so much of it just felt like a really, really fun delivery of common sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's why,
just like being a normal person.
That's why I was so fascinated with the religion.
It's like another perspective of common sense, I guess. Because
it was mostly commonsensical, but also kind of ridiculous. But like the genesis of this religion also, with these two guys who were kind of shipwrecked on this island, and then just decide like nobody wants to be in charge. So like, yeah, we'll do it, and we'll invent this religion to get everybody to follow. But then you got to make me like an outcast and an outlaw. And like, I thought that was really, really interesting. And then we finally got to actually meet Bokanon at the end. Here comes Christy. Is he? He's back there. Is he asleep? Yeah. He's asleep.
Maybe.
The social and religious commentary was interesting, even if the plot is bizarre. And the plot is bizarre. The characters are bizarre. We were talking about hold it down. We were talking about the Bokanonists.
What an odd religion.
It's so interesting. Oh yeah, there he is. We got the monitor on him now. Here's your thing back.
Thank you.
I can do that.
Okay, but I found the religion really, really interesting because I don't know. It didn't sound that bad.
It didn't really.
Honestly,
everybody was
that bad.
And everybody ended up subscribing.
Yeah.
I mean, okay,
like and subscribe.
The king actually at the end, like Christian, be like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah.
Like that was funny to me.
Julie.
Oh no, Owen.
Trading.
But yeah, I was actually like, it's not so bad, but it was like a satirical. You could
Well-
definitely tell it was a satirical take on religion.
And in Discord, Jeff said that he was pretty sure that it is Vonnegut's commentary on religion. Here's a religion that was made up to just keep the population focused on something while a bunch of other BS was going on. For me, it is also satirical in that you can pray to whatever God you want, but it is just going to be some moron with access to some piece of technology that they don't understand that will destroy the world. The threat of worldwide nuclear annihilation was real back then. This is Vonnegut's way of addressing it.
Well, yeah, it's the same as like Doctor Strangelove, where like I don't know if you've seen Doctor Strangelove. Spoiler alert. I mean, like the whole thing comes up because of this miscommunication between the people in the ground and the plane. Like they turn off their communication after they get like a bogus like bomb Russia with a nuke order, and like they're trying to recall the plane, but they can't. It's silly and it's stupid and it's completely preventable. But like, so that's why I felt about this book, and it's just like, oh, there we go, the bomb just went off. But yeah, but adding this religious aspect to it, and I guess we're like, I'm trying to make a connection between the first part of the book and the second part of the book, where the first part of the book is him like trying to interview the Honeckers about like I just want to know like what your dad was doing on the day the bomb fell on Japan.
It definitely ended as a different book than how it started.
And it was very kind of, other than the religious aspect of it, it was very kind of straightforward, except these people were writing bizarre letters. Newt was writing like, he was giving TMI in his letters for sure.
I mean, but all three of the Honecker children were kind of messed up a little bit.
Yeah.
They were all, I mean, I feel like the way that they were brought up was very, I don't know.
And Frank was basically those two guys from Better Off Dead who learned how to speak from the wide world of sports. He was just like, what did he just talk like a gangster? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
He talked like a 20s gangster or something like that.
Well, he just didn't have a social upbringing. I thought the background we got on him was really interesting, and especially how he was viewed in his city versus like
how he actually was.
Yeah, with the model maker's wife.
Yeah, I guess this is a way of introducing the characters, like sort of setting that whole scene up.
Well, what really got me was I went into this book thinking it was something very, very different, because on Goodreads, which is where I get most of my summaries, the summary for this book was Dr. Felix Honecker, one of the founding fathers of the atomic bomb, has left a deadly legacy to the world, for he's the inventor of Ice-9, a lethal chemical capable of freezing the entire planet. The search for its whereabouts leads to Honecker's 3 eccentric children, to a crazed dictator in the Caribbean, to madness. Felix Honecker's death wish comes true when his last fatal gift to humankind brings about the end that for all of us is nigh. Like, that's what I went into this book thinking it was, and this is not the book that I got.
Yeah, they weren't searching for Ice-9. They knew exactly where it was.
And John or Jonah wasn't searching for the Honecker children. He just stumbled upon them. He didn't even know about Ice-9 until he interviewed.
They were just a part of his harass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's also a huge spoiler.
Somebody gives away everything and also absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. And I'm glad I didn't even read the back of the book until I think I read the back of the book once I was like 80% through. And yeah, I went into this having no freaking clue.
Yeah. And I will say the summary on the back of the book, it actually is a really good description of what the book is. But I want to know from you guys if you have a good like description for this book, like to put on like what would be the blurb for this book? Because it's so random. How do you even do it?
A man falls down a rabbit hole of bizarre circumstances, and that leads him to an island where people are. He becomes the president.
Does he though? He almost becomes the president, which was such a random event.
And also, like the Ice-9, I forgot about it after like there was a whole part of me reading this book where I am actively not thinking about Ice Nine. Just like forgot it existed until like the end when it came back and they're like, it was Ice Nine. And I knew the kids had it. And I guess they were using it to get places or like
Yeah, but they were being so irresponsible with
Newt's
it.
ex-girlfriend stole it because she was a double agent.
Literally something that, I mean, as we saw in the end, with very, very, very minimal effort, destroyed the entire planet.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have done something other than just carry it around in a thermos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good, Ashley.
Jonah is a journalist wanting to write the story of the father of the atom bomb. He doesn't expect the adventure he ends up on or how it might lead to the world's doom.
Ooh,
Like it. I like it.
that.
Mike.
Yep.
People are dumb. Fantasy Island meets Planet of the Apes.
I like Kelly's too.
You think your life is crazy? Just wait until you read this. Everybody's got a harass.
I like Brandy's also. You guys are nailing this.
You will lose 5 hours of your life and not know what happened.
Y'all are really good at this.
I guess I wasn't really. I wasn't expecting the end of the world. I don't know why. You were, weren't you? Or like because you remembered the blurb.
Yeah, I was expecting like apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic,
Oh,
which we got like 3 chapters on, which means like 3 pages.
I 100% didn't know the world was going to end. Had no clue.
I didn't, but it just escalated so fast.
Oh my gosh, it did. It snowballed, and I actually really oh yeah, was an accident.
Sorry. It's okay. It's not real. I don't have to feel guilty about laughing at it.
But I thought that was really interesting. Once he committed suicide by taking the Ice Nine, and then how things just kept getting crazier and like escalating from that. That was fascinating.
But you have to admit, like the way the world ended was kind of funny.
Yeah,
Like,
it kind of was.
The plane
Also
crashing
scary.
into the castle,
Yeah.
and then like the guy just like sliding out.
It was the tornado part that's kind of because I was like, oh my god, the planet, it absolutely destroys the planet. And like what would happen to our atmosphere and like the weather and everything. So that's the road that I
Yeah,
went
that was
down.
interesting.
But also Natalie, I love Natalie's comment about Ashley texting her about the hike, because that is true. When I finished the book, I did have a brief moment, like I read the end, the last chapter that was a page, and I closed it and I sat on the couch for a minute and I was like, I don't feel the same way about this book as I did the hike, but I'm having the same feeling, which is just when you close the book and that's the end and you're like, really?
Yeah. So Bethany said the prophecy came true, right? He sailed in his gold boat at the end of the world. What was the
Yeah.
prophecy? What were the
Ooh.
words?
The prophecy was just that his golden boat, his lifeboat boat that was gilded or whatever, would sail again at the end of the world. And it wasn't like an exact wording thing. It was just referenced. But I did, because I flipped back to that to look for it. Because I was like, ooh, as soon as they saw that, like, they mentioned that that was his bed and we were introduced to it, I was like, things are getting really bad, right? They're going to get worse? Because this is the boat that they said that was going to happen.
You gotta love a full circle.
Well, and also I was looking at the list of Bokonon phrases on Wikipedia, and the last words of a Bokononist before committing suicide are, "Now I will destroy the whole world." And
He did do that.
he did do that
He did
right
do
after
that.
committing suicide.
But everybody else who didn't, because the world was already destroyed. But I do like the meaning, the intended meaning of, like, I guess you are the whole world, which is interesting. And I also like the idea of like touching feet. It seems weird, but I can see how it would be like weirdly intimate.
That does strike me as something very intimate.
Yeah,
Like,
because feet are gross. You have to have a level of trust.
and
Well,
would
you
you
gotta have
not
clean
feel
feet.
if you
And
had
clean
to,
feet,
if
yeah.
you had to put your bare feet against someone else's bare feet and sit there and communicate, would you not feel insanely closer to that person?
Yeah, you're also
'Cause,
you're also pointing butts at each other.
What?
How do you envision this going?
You're on your back, and you're like, everybody's lying on their backs, and you're just touching feet.
So everybody's laying down.
Yeah.
That's how you pictured it? I
don't
pictured
think
sitting.
anybody.
No, I
I
picture us
pictured
you-
laying
Broken
down.
heart.
I know. I pictured you're sitting.
What?
And your
I can't-
legs are just
I
pressed.
can't do
your feet
that.
are just
I can't do
sitting
that.
like on the ground.
That hurts my back.
Mona was even doing it standing up with the soldier when they arrived on.
Well, apparently Mona
island.
rubs feet on everyone.
Well, yeah.
I would have to lay down.
Stacy.
Yeah, no, that's how it's referenced in the book. Is like you're touching your souls because you're. I don't know what my face did, but I bet it was weird.
We can rewind it.
Sorry. No, that's okay.
And so you get hookworms, or you get the
Mm.
hook.
Uh,
Whoa! Reference.
That was very like just reading that description made me a little nauseated
yeah.
because yuck. Where's the
No, we're all when we have our lit fam meetup, we're all just gonna sit in a circle and touch feet.
No, no one
No.
will come if you say that.
No.
I won't come.
I'll be there.
Look, I'm not foot shaming Mona, but did the pilot agree to that? He was still wearing his shoes.
I think he
Consent
agreed.
matters.
I think he probably took his shoe off, and I think he really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, this book is really about the pilot.
Yeah.
He's the main character.
Ugh,
But
that stupid
what was I gonna say? I was gonna say
part.
something about the book, and now I can't remember what it was. The feet touching feet. Got that already.
We
Yeah.
talked a lot about
I don't
feet.
remember. It went away.
Mhm.
I hate that. Mike said he
It's
was
okay.
listening to this book 5 minutes at a time, kept getting lost, especially with the bicycle people, the ambassador. What was their role?
The Crosbys.
They didn't have a role.
The ambassador though, I thought his speech was pretty interesting there at the end.
I really
Oh,
liked
yeah.
them, and I was sad that they were the only ones that like went down with the ship.
But remember when he said like they died within the second because of I was
Yeah.
thinking that like that was just like a sweet thing that happened
Mm.
when they died, but no, it's because the world ended and they died.
Well, but I also kind of got the impression that they kind of chose that death,
Yeah.
and they
Oh,
chose
yeah.
to do it together. So like, it wasn't very sad to me, and the fact that they got to skip out on the end of the world.
Yeah, but the Crosbys, she was just like she was the one that's like call me mom, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
That
Also,
was
I
weird.
finally.
but
found
only
it
to the Hoosiers.
Hoosiers,
Hoosiers? Is that how you pronounce it?
Indiana
Indiana
folks.
Hoosiers. There is a legend made up by Bokanon, Philip Castle wrote in his book, that the golden boat will sail again when the end of the world is near. It was so near, so very
It was
near,
so near.
as
Yeah.
in like it sailed and then the world ended.
So this Bokanon guy like made up this whole thing, but he was kind of right. He was kind of spot on about some stuff.
I mean, it's a big book that he was constantly writing. You're going to be right about some stuff.
Well, I guess I should do it. Schwartzism.
Mm.
Y'all ready? It's about Star Trek.
Can
Okay.
we call it Schwarzenanity though? I like that better than Schwartzism.
Schwarzenanity.
Schwarzenanity.
That sounds like a March Madness thing.
Kind of. I see that.
Do you have any more? You have more discussion topics that people talk about? Because I think one of the things I'm having a hard time like condensing this book into like what do we even talk about here? Like what is if we were doing a class? Like because surely this book is taught in schools, right? As like a from a historical perspective, kind of a anti-war, people are stupid, anti-nuclear bomb, religious satire. Like there's a lot here to unpack.
I do have to agree with Jay. Out of all the many books we've read, this one does feel very ineffable.
I would not F it.
That's not what I meant. It's not ineffable, ineffable. There are no words. Nones.
But yeah, it's just like so. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. Vonnegut is clearly a smart guy, and his legacy has lasted. And this is one of his more famous books compared to what happened at Hiroshima. I mean, this is a completely. Somebody posted about that it was a Discord or somewhere where they said, I think may have been like Giggles or somebody that said like, this was an actual thing that happened with real things. Like, why do we make up this whole like story around it? Which again is like, like Dr. Strangelove, although that's not really about anything that happened necessarily. This does center around sort of a real event, and then with just made up, like Felix Honecker is completely fictional.
Well, yeah, it's historical fiction where they like just veered off suddenly from, which I guess is
But I think that's
exactly
why it
what
freaked me
it
out
is.
more, because of just that historical element. And that's why I was like, do I need to Google everyone and everything in this? I did Google some things. Mostly it was just like dictionary. I needed definitions of certain words, but
It was like, Oppenheimer just came out, and everybody knows that Oppenheimer was the guy, not this Honecker fellow, and his bizarre family. But
I mean, although Oppenheimer was also a bizarre fellow.
he was what?
A bizarre fellow.
Well, yeah, but he was real.
Really
Bethany, let's do it.
bizarre.
I would write a paper on this book, and there's a lot to think about. Even if I don't super dig this as personal reading, I appreciate it. See, me too. But it's hard for me to. So, if you had to write a paper on this book, Bethany, what would your thesis statement be? What would be your analysis of this? Because in the time that it was written, there was a lot of like anti-war, a lot of anti the bomb, and this was kind of a reaction to, if I read Wikipedia correctly, the Cuban Missile Crisis, right?
Yeah.
Which is the closest we've ever come to mutually assured destruction that we know of. So, like the whole, I mean, I get it. I get the whole like anti sentiment.
I think if I had to write a paper on it, it would be about the religion. It would be about is it Bocanism?
Bocanism?
Bocanism, yeah. There's an extra N in there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a lot of things in there. And the pros and cons of weighing that religion against other current ones.
So Steve says Kurt Vonnegut surviving the bombing of Dresden affects much of his fiction and his outlook on life. That makes sense. I can see that. Let's see. I also don't know much about Kurt Vonnegut, which I guess is helpful in this case.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a Vonnegut scholar, obviously. Let's see. What else? What are you talking about? Babies? Talking about babies?
What?
Babies.
I think that was a reference to maybe a reply to someone else.
Oh, y'all are talking amongst yourselves. Why am I struggling so much with like, what do we talk about
because
with this book?
This book was a struggle. It's a struggle to put your finger on, like, if someone said, hey, like, real quick, in just a few sentences, tell me what this book is about. I mean, what? Or like, give me a warning. Like, do you like this book? Do you think I would like this book? Would you recommend this book to me? What is it about? She'd be like, it's actually a conglomeration of many different books.
I have a question.
That do go together and don't.
Why is there a bird cage on the front?
That is a great question.
Oh, I had a question.
Is it about the bird cage?
No, you reminded me. My understanding of Ice 9 was that like once it touches anything, like that thing is ice 9'd, basically. How are they able to thaw out the water and drink it without
ice 9ing themselves?
Ice 9ing themselves. And how are they able to thaw out meat and cook it without ice 9ing themselves? Like that. Yeah. I just didn't understand.
I didn't understand that either. So I had to suspension of disbelief a little bit and assume that it was the temperature. So Ice 9 exists in this form until you bring it above, it was like 114.4 or 110.4, something
Yeah.
like that degrees. And once you eat it, like heat it past that, it turns back into normal water.
And then Ice 9 is not a thing anymore
There's
for
no
it.
ice
That
nine
is
left.
that was my assumption.
Missy says, yes, once thawed with the heat, the water is safe to drink.
Okay.
But it has to be heated up past that temperature of like 114.4.
The dissection of
whatever
the
it was.
mysterious Felix nor any of his children are as interesting as the stories about them are. The same with Bokanon. The stories are far more interesting than the truth. Which is, yeah. It's fiction. It's fiction about fiction.
I will say about the religion, I enjoyed that it was all that they all actually followed the religion and just lied about it, and also the reason why it was created and how.
Yeah, the genesis of the religion was fascinating. And it kind of makes you wonder about every other religion, you know? Like, people just say, hey, let's do this.
Well, at the end of the day,
What is the canary test?
We don't.
You take a canary into the mines, and then it has a lower tolerance for poisonous gases. So once it dies, you know to get out.
It's the canary in the coal mine?
Yeah.
But like, I kind of want to Google it.
Bye,
Martin.
What do we got? Bethany, I want to write about the fact that there are unexpected consequences. We feared the A-bomb as the end of the world, but ICE did it. And a religion based on lies didn't save anyone any more than... Oh, the suspense is killing me. Except juxtaposition of fire and ice. Super tall sister and a small person brother. Incompetent leadership. Random, not random crossings of paths. So much.
See, you've dissected so much more of this book than my brain was capable of doing.
Yeah, I think what you were able to sort of quantify sentiments that I could just only like kind of feel when I read this book. Because like I feel like I was on the cusp of really like getting it, but then I couldn't like, bleh. You know what I mean? Like I felt it. I felt like, oh yeah, this is a thing, but I can't like translate it out into my mouth. Also, we just had a baby. Thank you, Professor Bethany. Yes, that's helpful.
Okay, this might not be correct, but this is what I found online. So someone asked, they were like, just finished Cat's Cradle by Vonnegut and had a question about the cover of the book. It's like, assumed it was a birdcage. Like, have the new edition blue copy. Like, what? And there's one comment, and this was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And there's no other responses or replies. But one person just said, if I'm not mistaken, the covers of the new editions feature drawings from Vonnegut's own books. So the drawing on a particular cover might not actually represent anything inside.
Oh, wait, so this is just a line of covers of all of his books that have like random Kurt Vonnegut drawings on them?
Maybe.
What? Why?
That's silly.
Misleading.
Silly.
Maybe.
Should be a cat on here.
There should be.
Did he draw cats?
What is this?
Bethany, you were well on your way to become a professor.
I would take your class.
I was a professor once.
That's true.
Isn't that weird?
It is.
It's weird to me. But I wasn't like a, like that kind of professor. I wasn't like teaching smart things. My cover has a bomb and hands doing Cat's Cradle.
That makes way more sense.
Like, look at the one at the top of this. That's a cool cover.
Yeah, no, that applies to the thing.
The theme, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about his writing style? Because I feel like when I read this, it took me back to Slaughterhouse-Five. Even though I don't remember anything about Slaughterhouse-Five, it was like a very distinct writing style. Did you feel that way?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not my favorite
It's not your favorite?
writing style.
Why?
Just I don't it just felt chaotic. And I don't know if is that the writing style or just the way he tells stories. It's just not, it doesn't work with the way I read them.
Also, that didn't actually bother me. I don't know.
I will say, like, I struggle more with the beginning of this book, just getting into the style, and then by the end, I was fine. I say this all the time, but like I figured out like kind of how it was supposed to feel, and just like let it happen.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't turn me off necessarily, but like it's very distinct. It's very like, even though I've only read one other book and it was a long time ago, it's very Kurt Vonnegut-esque.
Yeah. I really like the chapter titles. I love that there's like 100 and something chapters, and they all have like the most random chapter titles. And I kind of wanted to do the index reading that one lady did, but just based on the chapter titles.
Ooh.
Because they're so random.
What a weird superpower that is.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Are-
index thing.
Are all of his books short chapters?
I do not remember at all.
I don't think Slaughterhouse 5 had
Okay.
like two-page chapters, but I could be Steve coming in with the Vonnegut trivia. Thank you. He started out writing short stories for magazines back in the day.
Kelly, someone else said that earlier, that they didn't care about what happened to the characters. And I think it's good that none of us really cared about what happens to the characters, because nothing good happened to any of them.
True.
So, that was like self-preservation as a reader, in a sense.
True. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because, yikes.
Kira likes the writing style.
Like, even when Mona, I was like, there goes another one.
Well, even she was like that.
Yeah, no, she was left. She was like,
She's like,
that makes sense. Okay.
let's do it.
Also, was she doing it because the note said to? And she was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what we were told to. So just, there's a fun message about blindly following a religion made up by a dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say in this instance, it might not have been the worst idea. But I mean, that
things
you
weren't
could
looking great.
survive, and there's got to be people that survived everywhere. I mean, like most
our guy survived.
everybody's dead, but yeah, there's some people that survived, and like it's possible to heat the water and the meat and stuff.
Bethany said, "What about the representation of Cat's cradle and how Newt says there's no cat and there's no cradle?"
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. Was
The repetition made me think, this is important.
that is insightful. Also, fart. You said
Fart.
something in it. It was farty fart fart. What was that thing that I just forgot? What were we talking about? The blindly. Oh no, it's not as related as I thought. That I
hate it when that
remember.
happens.
It was just, it was like someone posted a meme or something that I saw in the past couple of days, and it's true, since now that I know this book is about the apocalypse, because when I saw that meme, I had not yet started this book, and I did not know that the world ended. But it's like, was like watching all these movies and TV shows about the zombie apocalypse, and why are these people trying so hard to survive? Like, is it just me, or would y'all just be like,
whoop, guess I'll die.
like the world, like zombies took over. Why are y'all trying so hard?
Wait, so in the zombie world, like you can still maybe have a life. In this world, though, everything's frozen, and the weather's crazy.
A lot of tornadoes.
Yeah, like you're gonna run out of like food to eat, and you can't grow anymore. There's no animals. So I mean, like, really, your days are numbered in this one. This one, I don't see the point really of sticking around.
Also, I found something maybe regarding the cover, but also probably not, but maybe. If suspension of disbelief, chapter 56 is titled A Self-Supporting Squirrel Cage. So we have the word cage, and then here at the end of the chapter, there's all the things about forms of government, blah, blah, blah. Nobility was composed of plantation bosses, blah, blah, blah. Knighthood was composed of big natives, blah, blah. The spiritual needs of the people caught in this demoniacal squirrel cage were taken care of by a handful of butterball priests.
What?
Maybe that's the cover.
Maybe
That's the cover. Is that this is the demoniacal squirrel cage. And all of the people and their spiritual needs were taken care of by one priest. He wasn't a butterball, but maybe it's a squirrel cage.
That's
Sure.
entirely possible. I've never.
Y'all go read
I'm gonna have
chapter
to Google.
56 and let me know what you think.
I'm gonna Google squirrel cage.
It's gonna be like a trap.
It's the word cage.
It looks just like it.
It doesn't.
I don't know.
Maybe in the 60s. I'm
Kira, I had to. I need to know an answer. I need for it to make sense in some way. I need to understand at least one thing about this book. Leanne, I did see your thing about Dark Book Club, and honestly, I just am really, really thankful that you understand me and that you're okay with the fact that I can't ever be there for that.
DBC.
So sorry.
DBC, read some Z's.
There's some good choices. The book poll choices are good for the zombie poll.
Well,
Thank you, Kelly.
We've kind of stumbled our way through this hour of book discussion.
I stumbled my way through this book.
Would you read the next in the series?
I think
The world's over. What is the what? Okay, actually, would you read another Kurt Vonnegut?
I don't think so. I think I'm done with KV.
Yeah.
Unless somebody made a really, really strong argument for one of his books that say it's not like I think that I have gotten a sense of it.
Well, yeah. So I finished this book and I'm like, oh, I'm done with Kurt Vonnegut. And then I was telling some friends last night about reading this book. And one of them, who has great taste in books, said that one of her favorite books was a Kurt Vonnegut book that I haven't read. And it made me kind of rethink the whole no more Kurt Vonnegut. So if someone recommends it, I would consider it. But if no one recommends it, I'm not picking it up on my own.
If someone could recommend to me another Kurt Vonnegut that has a happy in it, if there are any Kurt Vonnegut books that have, I'm fine with like dark humor and satire, but if there's something with like maybe a little more hope or any at all,
Disney Vonnegut,
then I'd think about it.
Yeah, I think I might.
And that's it.
Did you see Bethany's comment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I like
Cat's Cradle is the comforting lie. There's no cat, there's no cradle, but it's a kid's game. Something simple, but it represents both a missed human connection between father and son and the end of the world.
Also, I don't know if y'all know this, but like the Cat's Cradle game, that like there are certain shapes and things that you can do on your own, but the game that I'm aware of that's actually called Cat's Cradle requires two people. It's not something you can do by yourself. I mean, I might be wrong, but that's the version that I played growing up, is that you're passing the string back and forth by grabbing X's and moving your hands and pulling the string onto your own hands, and you pass the string back and forth and back and forth. It requires more than one person. And I want to pretend like there's a metaphor in there somewhere, but I don't know what it is.
Steve says that his nonfiction helps with the fiction. Yeah, like I don't want to just straight outright dismiss Kurt Vonnegut, just because he is so
He's brilliant.
And
Like, I'm not going to dispute that.
well respected and like
Maybe that's why I didn't get it. I'm not brilliant enough.
highly studied. Yeah, it's just you got to be in the right, I think, headspace for something a little heady, something that's gonna try to make a statement there.
Bethany just gave me an A. I'm pretty sure what that was. That's what that was.
Bethany
Right?
gave you
Did
an
I get
A?
an A?
What?
A for effort. I was talking about Cat's Cradle.
Oh,
I'm gonna just call him an A.
but
Just tell my mom that
Kelly
I got
gave
an
Bethany
A.
an A plus. Okay, so Cat's Cradle, and again, if you want to continue the discussion, we have.
She said yes. Okay, I'm gonna print out a
All right.
report card and I'm gonna send it to my mom.
If you want to
Thank
continue the discussion, we have a thread open in Discord, and a literally wasted Discord. Please continue the discussion there. Y'all are very smart, smarter than us.
Yep.
We're gonna we're just gonna lurk in there and learn some things. Bethany will be conducting a seminar, Vonnegut 452, for everybody to sign up. And but next book, we're changing things up a little bit. We're doing a long book for August and September. It is a big book, so which is why we're giving you 2 months to read it. And it is The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is Christy's all-time favorite book.
One of my favorite books.
And
I know this because she gave me this copy a long time ago, and now I get to read it.
Also, don't let me talk it up too much. I mean, it's not gonna be for everybody, but it's great and you'll all love it.
So we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to reading it because Christy has been talking about it nonstop since we got together. Like literally, she hasn't talked about anything else at all
For like 12 years.
Yeah, even while she was in labor, she was talking about. Have you read The Lies of Loch Lamora yet? And I was like, you got to have the baby.
Kelly, don't hold your breath. I don't think Lucas is gonna read this book.
And so we're gonna have in August. We'll have two live events. The first event will be on August 16th, and that will be another club hangout.
Mm-hmm.
And then on August
30th,
we will have the first discussion of The Lies of Loch Lamora for the first half of the book. We're going back to that.
Yep. So no spoilers past that point.
No spoilers past that point.
Woo, throwback.
Yeah.
And that is up to, I wrote it down. It's like up to chapter, I want to say 7.
You know what the next thing is,
These
though?
are
It was
huge
chapter 7, but the
chapters.
next thing is interlude.
Really? I already made the graphic.
That's okay. We can do chapter 7.
Oh, to be fair, I think there are interludes within
regularly.
multiple chapters because each chapter,
It's like
because
The
I was like,
Investigator.
there's multiple interludes because each chapter is actually broken up into multiple sections. Because I was like, why
Okay,
is
there
chapter
are
7
interludes
200
everywhere.
and something pages in? And it's because, so don't be daunted because I was like, God, those are long chapters.
It's been a long time since I've read this.
But yeah,
so.
each chapter has multiple subsections, like mini chapters within the larger chapter.
Wow. Chapters within chapters. So the August 16th
And 30th.
and 30th. 16th club meeting. It's just a hangout. Judy loves it. You'll love it. We just hang out and goof off and play silly games. And then on the 30th, we'll have a live discussion for the first half of The Lies of Loch Lamora. And then in September, we'll have another club meeting on September 13th. And then on September 27th, we'll discuss the entirety of The Lies of Loch Lamora. So
Teamwork.
you have 2 months to read The Lies of Loch Lamora, but don't let that fool you. This is a long book.
It is a long book. It's like
Mhm.
730 something pages.
I'm going to start immediately.
That's big.
Tammy says it's been great having everybody on YouTube.
Is yours 700 pages?
722 is the mass market.
Mine is 537,
Wow.
but the pages are bigger and the font is small.
Pretty fun.
The font is slightly minuscule.
But my copy is 3,000 pages. So.
It's just a bunch of sticky notes.
It's one word per page.
And it's 3,000 words. But yeah, this is the first time we've done a book this long.
Well, this long. We've done a 500-page book a couple of times.
This is the big one.
This is the biggest one.
And it's
And you promise this is easier to read than Dune?
Yeah.
Then I'm good. I'm good.
So yeah.
Uh-oh. Is your microphone off?
What happened?
Did it die?
No.
Okay.
What happened? Can't hear us anymore?
That means
What?
it's the Talia Show. It is only me, no one else. Here we go, talking about books and stuff. Okay, it's a good thing we're done.
We're on the same audio though. That's weird.
Ew.
I started drooling. It happens. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, so it was a blessing if I could hear you.
Here it says you're really quiet.
I'm not though. I'm being really loud.
Look, they love it. Here I go. Let's talk about this book. Wait, no, I can't. I haven't read it yet. I don't want to sing a song about Cat's Cradle. It's sad.
Well, I don't know what happened to you.
It says they can hear you through my mic.
Right here. Look, it's on. It's on and everything.
They're lying.
Hello?
It's a fib. It's the Talia
Solo.
show. It is not the Adam and Christie show. It is the Talia show because it is my show. Do y'all remember Tom Green?
Yes, God. Why?
Because that was his thing, right? This is the Tom Green show. It's not the Green Tom show.
I was not a fan of Tom Green.
I wasn't either, but that was catchy. It was a catchy little jingle thing. He was a comedian who wasn't funny. It's no big deal. Yeah, that was a thing.
So that's it.
We did it, y'all. We read a book. Good job. Go team. High fives all around. Look. Yoink. Christy, high five.
Look, he's moving. He stirs.
No one saw it.
It's off screen.
Adam.
You can't prove it.
I refuse to believe that this happened.
I should have put my hand so we could hear the sound. I'm gonna
There's no evidence. I think she's making it up. Of course not.
I got a high five. I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna go find the sound. There's gonna be like, although it was like a very soft like high five, it was more like a pat. So good.
Okay, well, we'll see you on
We shall see you in a few weeks.
August 16th for
Yes.
our club hangout where Christy will give everybody high fives except me. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.